Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good, bro. Just trying to trying to live a dream like you, bro. Trying to get like you a little bit, man. But
Hey, hey, we live in someone's dream, though. I know that
oh yeah,
much.
definitely, bro. Definitely, bro, man. But how you doing though?
Hey, man,
Good.
yeah, overall, yeah, I'm good. I really can't complain. I just, take everything, day by day and be
Yeah.
grateful for, everything that I have now.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that's the best you can do right now. But I'm
Yes,
good.
sir. That's it, man. Hey,
Yeah.
that's it. All right, bro. Hey, check it out. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the podcast, man, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hey, so what the business is, you already know who it is. It's your boy coming through with a little bit more of that photo culture. And today I got another one of my prior drill sergeant buddies, man. I ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna let him introduce himself to the people, bro. Hey, so when you introduce yourself, man, just let the people know who you are, what's your name, what job you currently do in the military, and just a little bit about you, bro.
All right. So first of all, my name is Kenneth Belton. Everybody call me Kenny. Staff Sergeant Belton in the Army. As of right now, I am the H2F NCOIC for 198th over here at Fort Benning on Sand Hill. I am infantryman by trade. 11 Bravo. Been in the Army for about 14 years. I've been to a few duty stations. I've been to Fort Stewart, Campbell, Fort Jackson as a drill. Now I'm here at Fort Benning. I have a few combat deployments under my belt. Had a great time, and now I'm here. Exploring new things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you being able to give me a little bit of your time to get on here tonight, bro.
Anytime, anytime.
Yes, sir. All right, man. So, first question, man. How you doing, man? How's life?
Look, man, all I can say is the best way I could put it is blessed, black, and highly favored.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Because I'm healthy. I have two boys. I'm a
Okay.
father of two, and they're healthy. They're in a great position, and you can't ask for more than that. Like they're
Yeah.
always safe and taken care of, and I'm in a good position. I'm constantly like keep myself in good mental health, and constantly working on being a better person every day. So
Yes, sir.
I really can't complain because like it could always be worse, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Hey,
I'm
definitely,
good.
bro.
I'm happy.
Hey, hey, trust me, man. Hey, look, and then that fatherhood token, bro. That just definitely push you over the fence there, man. Like makes you go above and beyond, man, just to try to be the best version of you for your little ones, bro. Because uh, same way, bro. I got a son, bro, and like my son grown now, bro. So might as well say I'm an old head, bro. But hey, I was like that too, man. Especially just trying to be the best role model I could be, bro, and just trying to be a
Mhm.
present dad, bro.
Definitely,
Because you
definitely.
know, because like I was talking on another podcast, man, and the scrutiny behind, you know, so much of hearing so many negative things about the black father or the black male whenever it comes to relationships and comes to fatherhood, bro. It's so
Hmm.
much, stereotypical nonsense that be put out there. And it really like shadows over what real dads and what real men that want to be in their children's lives have to go through whenever we deal with all of the negativity that's said about us, bro. So definitely, bro. I feel you 100%, bro. And it definitely drives you to be stronger and more equipped to be successful so you can be there and do the things that you want to do with your kids, bro. So
Yep.
big kudos to you, man, for for
Yeah.
for for
Yeah. Because
being a
it's not.
dad that
Yeah.
actually want to be there.
Yeah, and it's not easy for us, because
No.
especially like my kids don't live with me, so you
Yeah.
got to put in like extra work just to be there for them. You got to make
Yes, sir.
sure you're talking to them on a regular basis. You're communicating with them, and you really got to put in work to be a part of their daily lives, asking them questions, to
Yeah.
really get in there, and also explaining to them, what it's like, and to live our day to day lives. Still
Yeah.
teaching them how to be, a young man growing up to be a man later on, teaching about, life lessons and things like that. Because, my oldest son is 15, he's in high
Yeah.
school. So, you know, it's going to get tougher for him. and he needs to know and understand that if he runs any issues, he can always call me, or that I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be there for him.
Yeah,
My youngest son is 8, and he's still understanding. He's a kid, so you know still working with him and still being there, being present. It's a job in itself,
definitely.
and as a father, being away from from your kids, it's tough as well, because you miss that daily interaction, with your children, but you still have to understand, like, I still have to set good examples for them, and still uphold myself, and and create good standards for them as well. Give them something to to work at, give them that
Yeah,
positive, in positive affirmations, a positive image. So if, like, if someone asks them, who do you look up to, I hope it's me. you know I mean,
yes, sir.
and that's all to me, that matters the most. If my
Yeah,
kids say that I want to go be like my dad, then I feel like I've succeeded in life. you
yes,
know
sir. Definitely, definitely.
can't ask for nothing else.
Hey, no, sir, you can't, man. Hey, seeing them smile, bro, seeing them happy, bro, and seeing them being successful in their own right, bro. That's the best thing in the world to see, bro.
Yeah.
Especially whenever you're there and actually able to see and witness it for yourself, man. Yeah.
Mhm.
Appreciate that though, bro, man. All right, bro. So question number 2, man. Where you from and how was your upbringing, bro? Tell me a little bit about Belton whenever he was growing up.
Okay. So, all right, originally, so I'm born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut, right? I
Okay.
lived there until I was about 14 years old, about uh, after my freshman year in high school. And then
Okay.
I moved from there to Concord, North Carolina. That's where the rest of my rest of my teenage and adult years there.
Okay.
My upbringing was it was fun, to say the least, right?
Okay.
And I have siblings. I have 2 brothers and a sister. And growing up, my older brother and I, we were really close. So we used to do everything. Obviously, go to play, rec ball. We play outside, all day, every day.
Yeah.
So and we didn't grow up in the best neighborhoods, because New Haven is it was a pretty rough city growing up. But
Okay.
I mean, we made the best of it. We moved to Concord, North Carolina. Um, after my freshman year of high school. I didn't like it. It wasn't really my choice, because all I knew was, you know, the city. So moving down to North Carolina was a huge cultural change for me. So, but obviously after like a year or so, I kind of adapted to it, and realized, once I really had to take it in, um, it it was an experience to say, it was an
Okay.
experience, because like after a while, that I realized I kind of like the South better than upstate, and like
Yeah.
the fast city life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, I was like 15 minutes from Charlotte, so I wasn't that far away. So
Right.
as I got older and experienced Charlotte, North Carolina, and things like that, it was really it was like, okay, I could do this, um,
Yeah.
and also I have friends who I came up with, who's actually experienced the same thing as me.
Okay.
So because I one of my best friends, he moved to North Carolina, I'll say a year before I did, from New York, and I also had a
Mhm.
buddy of mine come down from the Virgin Islands 2 weeks
Mhm.
before me. So we were like kind of all on the same boat. So so like it's good to have like someone that like this understanding,
Oh yeah.
and but the big cultural shock for me, because when I moving to North Carolina, from Connecticut, I had this New York accent, and so so everybody
Yeah.
used to make fun of me a lot. Everybody used to make fun of me. And everyone just asked me to say different words. I'm like, I don't have the accent. Y'all have the accent. So,
Yeah.
but then after being there for a few years, you kind of like pick up, you know, 2 different types of, accents. But uh, childhood and my my teenage life was I mean, I can't complain, but I had some rough patches, coming up, you know um
We
I
all do, bro.
yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah.
having new experiences coming from 2 different
Yeah.
states as well. Like my first time being exposed to racism after I moved down south,
Yeah.
and that was a big shocker for me too. But one thing I never gave up on, and one thing that always kept me going. Well, actually, it was two things. Actually, I was always big into music. I love music. I used to love to sing. I used to sing all the time. I'm talking. I was in the choir. I was in. I did chorus in school and basketball. Like I would play
Yeah.
basketball day in, day out. And I was really good. And I wanted to go. Like my thing, I wanted to go to UConn and play for them. You know, and like, that was one of my things. Then obviously life happens, things change, and
Yep.
then uh I'll say uh midway through college, I ended up dropping out, because things were getting a little rough. I'm like, well, college not paying the bills right now. And this was like around what, 2009, 2010 time frame. I'm like, you know
Okay.
what, let's join the army.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
That was
you know
it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but
Okay.
I mean, I've learned a lot through life, and one thing I've learned the most was whenever you're going through things, take the time to understand what it is you're going through and why you're going through it, and
Yeah.
because if you don't do that, then it's going to repeat itself over and over again until you actually
Definitely.
learn that.
Definitely.
But I was growing up in church. My mom made sure I was in church. My grandmother made sure my mom was putting us in church. Because
Yeah, boy.
grandmother didn't play.
Grandma the
Grandma didn't
ringleader,
play
boy.
about that. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
didn't play
bro.
about that. She'll call every
Yes, sir.
Sunday. I'm seeing you went to church.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I feel you, bro. Trust me, man. Growing up, man, when growing up, bro, like you definitely hit your rough patches, man, and then you have those moments that, um, like we was talking on another podcast, man. So like, uh, a lot of people like to use this term wins and losses, bro, but it's never really a win, bro. Because what? Well, you can win, but it's never really a loss. It's just a
Hmm.
lesson learned, bro. Because like
Exactly.
you going through things in life, man. You getting in new environments, like you moved from the city, and then you kind of came down to the rural country area, bro. Granted, you was like 15 minutes away from the city, but you still was in a different environment and probably a different
Hmm.
pace from what you
Oh
came
yeah.
from. So you obviously had to get used to your new surroundings and really adapt to it, bro. So definitely, learning, getting caught up in things, bro, but making it through, bro. So I think like the lessons that you learn from the things you go through in life is what truly makes you stronger on the other side, bro, because now you know what to do and what not to do, because you don't
Oh
want to get
yeah.
yourself put in those same positions that you used to be in. So I feel you
Exactly.
100% there, bro, because me, I grew up in on the country, bro. I'm from Florida or whatever, man. So I'm a country boy through and through, bro. So I grew
Yeah.
up in on the woods, and then when my parents split up, me and my mom moved to the city. So
Okay.
that was a complete difference, bro. Because I'm used to dirt roads, oak trees, and freaking grass and fields and all that shit everywhere. And then I moved
Uh-huh.
to the city where ain't none of that out there, bro. Ain't nothing but buildings, streets, roads,
Yep.
and all that. So I was in a culture shock also. So I had to get used to that aspect too, bro. So I feel you 100%, and definitely found myself caught up in some things that I shouldn't have been caught up in, bro. And not all bad, but I think we all had those moments to where we done seen some shit or done some shit that we wasn't supposed to do, and got a wake
Yep.
up call, and then had to realize, hey, this ain't it.
Yep.
This ain't it, bro. This ain't it.
Yep. I
Hell
feel
yeah.
you. Yep.
Okay. Hey. All right. Hey. So I know you kind of went into it a little bit, bro. But my next question for you is, what drove you to truthfully join the army? Like, what was that deciding factor to be like, this what I'm finna do, this the career that I'm finna move forward with?
So in a nutshell, I had to provide. So at the time I was married and I had a newborn. I had a newborn
Okay.
son, who's my oldest now. And I needed to provide for them. And at the time, like, so I was working two jobs and I was full-time college, right?
Okay.
And because I was doing that while my wife at the time was pregnant, and she was on bed rest because she couldn't walk around. So
Mhm.
I worked at two jobs. I was in school, getting no sleep, and it was tearing me up. I mean, I was losing focus in school. I was trying to do schoolwork during my my third shift job. I was literally I'll get up in the morning. I'll go to school in the morning. I'll go to my main job, which is at Sam's Club,
Okay.
and then I'll go to then I'll leave there and go to Kmart whenever Kmart was open, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I worked there third shift. And so then, like, some days it's just like I'll get off and go right back to school, and I won't even go home. So it was too much. It was getting too much for me, and so I had to quit that job. I had to quit the third shift job because also it was interfering with the main money. I was at work falling asleep a lot. So I ended up I ended up getting let go, from my job there because there was too much going on, and
Yeah.
I got caught sleeping at work, so they had to let me go. So couldn't do that. Couldn't really pay for school, so I dropped out. So couldn't find another job, and I was like, well, I guess it's plan B because I was originally in school for to become a cop. I wanted to go into
Okay.
law enforcement. So since that wasn't really panning out, I was like, well, let's just go with plan B. So I went down to the recruiting station, which is right across the street from my job that I just
Okay.
lost, and got a new job.
Yeah.
and, and joining the army, I knew nothing about army. I'm not gonna lie. I
Okay.
mean, my father, he's a veteran, but he didn't really talk about it too much.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had friends, I had buddies that were that were in. I'm talking about during Desert Storm time frame, and my mother, she had friends, the family who were into, and then they was like, oh, you don't want to do it, don't do it, and especially what was going on at the time. We was in time of war,
Yeah.
so I was like, well, I mean, what else I'm gonna do? I'm like, who's gonna provide for my family? No one else but me,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna allow someone else to take care of my family for me. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. I provide.
Yeah.
So I got in. I joined the infantry. I'm like, I mean, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. I'm like, give me something that I know that I'll feel proud of. So I ended up, joining the infantry. Knew absolutely nothing about it. I learned as I went, and I mean, to be honest, I won't. I mean, if I go back and do it all over again, I'll make the same exact decision
Okay.
because I've realized that this is actually one of the best things that ever happened to me because it kind of helped me understand life a little better and actually to see more life, and it also helped me become a better person, a better father, a better leader because the
Right.
army, it set me up, in the right direction, and because I also allowed the army to put me in the direction I learned from everything and from everyone.
Yeah.
So that was the legit reason. I'm like, because I was running out of ideas, and
Mhm.
someone had to provide for my family. So who else better but me? So and no, I never look back.
Yes, sir.
14
Hey,
years
I
later,
like it,
here
bro.
I am.
Hey, yeah, yeah, yes, sir. 14 years later, bro, you still there doing it.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey. So that's a good segue then, man, to my next question, bro. So, what's your motivation to keep you going every day? Like, what
So
wakes you up out of bed to be like, I gotta go get it?
the biggest reason is always going to be my kids. My kids will always
Okay.
be my driving force, but also also at the same time for me, because I feel like every day I have something to prove to myself.
Yeah.
As a man, I'm like I gotta, I can never stay stagnant. I can't stay in one spot. I gotta constantly find ways, to do better.
Yeah.
And laying in bed every day is not going to do it.
No, sir.
Laying in bed, you're not going to lay down, you ain't going to lay on your bed, lay on your couch and feel sorry for yourself and expect things to happen.
Right.
So, how am I going to feel better about myself? How am I going to continue, setting the standard, not just for myself, but for,
Mhm.
my legacy and, and then as time goes on, that drive and that motivation and that why actually gets a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
It's not just my kids. It's not just for me, but it's also for the people who I've mentored throughout the years. The people who still look up to me, and for the
Yeah.
people who I will mentor in the future, because it's all about creating that legacy.
Yeah.
That if I get so, for example, I'm a part of your legacy.
Yeah.
You taught me some stuff, at the academy. I took your knowledge and I'm taking your legacy. I took it to 165th down 334 and
Yeah.
spread that knowledge out there. And
Yes,
also
sir.
taking what I learned to to these brand new soldiers, I also owe it to them as well. So
Yeah.
I owe it to a lot more people now. I'm like now I'm in a position to where now I can't just give up because there's way too many people who are looking at me, watching me, and expecting more out of me, and I owe it to them too.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than me. So I got to get up every day, and I got to do it because it's not just about motivation; it's about having that discipline to do the things like Tyson said, doing the things you don't want to do, doing it because you have to do
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I feel you 100%, bro. And I definitely heard the mentor come at you, man, because you said, hey, it's bigger than you, bro. You got people looking up to you. You got people expecting that good guidance to come from you, bro. So and that gives you a little bit extra besides your kids and our family, but just having those younger soldiers looking up to you, wanting the right answer, wanting to see how you do it so they can try to mimic and learn some of the things that you've learned and then build on that. Because, like you said, it's all about passing that legacy on, bro. Because
it.
I feel you, bro, because um, you learn what you learned from me at the academy, bro. You took that, you ran with it, you did your own thing. I mean, well, like you utilized what I and us at the academy taught you, went down there, utilized it, and then you built on it and did the things that you needed to do to make it a better time and a better situation for the soldiers that fell under you. And now you're carrying that somewhere else and continuing that legacy, bro. Because that's what
Hmm.
it's all about, bro. Because like if we're gonna be real mentors and real leaders, bro, we got to be able to pass that knowledge on. Because what good are we going to be, or what good are we going to do taking all the knowledge that we have to the grave with us if we don't pass it on to set up the foundation for the next generation or the next soldiers that's coming after us? Then we're doing the army a very big disjustice, bro. So I 100%
Right.
agree with you. Like we got to be
Hey,
able to pass that knowledge and pass that
yeah.
legacy on, bro, to keep that dynasty going.
Yeah, ain't no gatekeeping over here, bro. Ain't no
Hey,
gatekeeping over
definitely,
here.
definitely, definitely, bro. I got you. All right, bro. Hey, so second to last question, bro. What goals do you have left for yourself in the military? Like before you hang them boots up and take that uniform off, what goals do you have left for yourself that you want to accomplish before you get that retirement letter?
So before I drop that packet, I still gotta get I still want my tab. And that's
Okay.
something I'm working on right now. Getting that Ranger tab, get my
Yeah.
Ranger tab, and moving on to like the last thing I want to do before I get by here is be a first sergeant.
Okay.
I've already gotten the drill sergeant. I got the hat badge already. That was something I wanted. Like whenever as soon as I got to OSIT, like as soon as I hit Sand Hill and had a chance to to see, understand like my drill sergeants, I'm like that's something I want. And I got
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And I wanted to be able to to deploy, and I got that. Now I want to be able to continue to push my limits and see how far I can go,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to get that Ranger tab. My Ranger tab is the next one. Go to airborne school, get that, and then go somewhere be to be probably like one of the greatest platoon sergeants ever. And then before I finally hang it up, be a first sergeant.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. That's like one of my last goals, bro. Honestly, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Whenever I first had joined, I said that E7 was going to be the last rank that I had wanted before I got out, bro. But I
Mm.
wound up getting that and still got 5 years left, bro. So I ain't got no choice but to go ahead
You
and try
got
to
to.
get that first sergeant and probably try to build on that sergeant major, bro. So those
Hey,
are my two final goals, bro. Because like all of
yeah,
the excess stuff I done, man. I done drill sergeant, I done drill sergeant leader, bro. I done been a instructor. I done all of that, and I done touched a whole bunch of lives, bro, and taught a whole bunch of soldiers, man. Taught a whole bunch of NCOs. So now this back half of my career, bro, is going to be getting everything that I want and
exactly.
still mentoring and still coaching and still doing all that for the soldiers. But now I'm gonna take care of a little bit of me, man, and finish
Hmm.
out anything that I want, bro. But First sergeant, yeah. First sergeant, I know I'll get that within the next year or year and a half, bro. And then after that, bro, ain't no telling. I don't know. Sergeant major sound good, bro, but we'll see. We'll see what the good Lord have for me, bro. Really,
Yeah, I mean, I
we'll
don't
see,
know
bro.
about that, man.
But I don't think I have no choice because by the time by the time I maybe got like a couple years left, I'll probably be getting on that list to go to the academy. But
Mm.
we'll see. I don't know. I think I might stop at first sergeant.
To me,
That's
I feel
it,
like
bro.
I feel like I can still be impactful as a first
Yeah,
sergeant. I mean, I'm not saying sergeant majors can't be impactful, but
yeah.
you know, I feel like you're still close enough, to the soldiers, at that first sergeant
Yeah,
level. You can still inspire them because you're in front of that formation on a daily basis. And if you're doing it right, yeah,
yeah,
if you're doing it right, then you're in that formation every morning. You're in the
mhm,
field with them. Sergeant major. I mean, yeah, he comes and goes.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I still like to be in that position where I can still be impactful. Where I'm still,
yeah,
I don't want to be far away, like too far from the formation to where it's just like they see sergeant major in passing.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I feel you,
You
bro.
know.
I feel you. That's why I said I'm not really sold on saying that I gotta make it to sergeant major. I'm good with first sergeant, bro, and then that's still right there at the top of the food chain, bro. If I
Hmm.
can close out my career, bro, as a first sergeant, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Ain't this and that. I just have to like become a sergeant major. So I'm good with first
Yeah.
sergeant, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, bro. All right, man. Hey, so last thing, and then I'll get you out of here, bro. You got any final remarks, man? Just some positive words or something that you want to say to the younger generation or the younger soldiers, man, to keep their head on straight, bro. Just some words that you want to say from on the heart to just talk to the people real quick. Anything.
Yeah. Like overall, to like the younger generation and younger soldiers coming in, make the best out of everything. Never take anything for granted. Learn from everyone, the good and the bad, and and create your own legacy from there. Because understanding that no matter if you've been for 3 years, 6 years, or 20 years, you're going to be in that position to where you're going to have to change someone's life,
Yeah.
and it's just always take it as if like it means that much to you, and be passionate about everything that you do. Because if you don't do it with passion, then it's never going to be real.
Definitely.
Never expect anything to be handed to you, because if it's just handed to you and you don't work for it, then it has no value.
Right.
Always work hard for everything you want to, because it creates more value. And just you know you don't know everything. You'll never know everything. So always
Yep.
be willing to learn,
Yes, sir.
and just keep your head up. That's
Yes,
it.
sir. Listen, man, I appreciate that, bro. I agree with you, man. You don't know everything, bro, because I always say this, and I used to say this to my candidates and trainees also, bro. Like to be a great leader, at some point you have to be a great follower because you don't know
Exactly.
everything. You're gonna have to watch and see something before you get out
Hmm.
there and be able to mimic something. So
Yep.
you don't know everything, bro. Learn whatever you can learn, the good, the bad, just like what you said, bro. The good, the bad. And you don't have to utilize something if you know it's bad, but you can witness it so you know what
Hmm.
not to do. Yes,
Yep.
sir. I agree with you, bro. All right, bro. Hey, check it, man. Hey, I appreciate the time, bro. I appreciate you getting on here, chopping it up with me, man, and speaking from the heart, talking a little bit about your journey, talking a little bit about your kids, man, and your military career, and some of the things that you still want to accomplish in the military, bro. But I gotta get you on here again, man,
Oh,
in the future,
anytime,
bro.
bro. Hey, I'm
Got
glad.
you.
I'm honored to be here right now. But
Yes, sir.
anytime, bro. Just let me know.
Yes,
Hit me
sir.
up.
Yes, sir. Definitely, definitely. Hey, before I get off here, man, I don't usually do this because I ain't really big into the glitz and glamour, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and introduce my book, man. Two books actually, bro. So if you into that kind of thing, if you into black reads, I got two books out right now specifically for the black male. Both of them, it's a 3-book series, but only 2 of them are out right now. I'm currently working on book
Okay.
3, but it's called The Mind of a Troubled Man, book 1 and book 2. All right.
Okay.
Hey, so book 1 is called The Mind of a Troubled Man, and book 2 is called The Mind of a Troubled Man, the Heart. So one of them talks about the mind, one of them talks about the heart, and then the third one, I'm gonna keep that a secret. Whenever that drop, I'll tell y'all the title of on that one. But if you if you into the short read, especially for the black males, to kind of help them cope and know that they're not the only ones going through some of the things that they've been through, you can go to Amazon ebooks and just look it up. The Mind of a Troubled Man, book 1 and book 2. All right. Hey,
Oh yeah,
but
I'm on it.
yes, sir, yes, sir. But hey, again, bro, I appreciate you coming on here, man. I'm gonna definitely get this chopped up and it's gonna be shared on all platforms, bro. And then I send you the link for Spotify, bro, so you can share it to your people, man, so they can hear your
Man,
story too, bro.
man, I
Hey,
appreciate it.
yes, sir. Again, bro. Hey, continue doing great things, bro. And we go tap in again. All right.
All right, say less.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right, bro. Peace.
Peace.